What type of you know, I'll call it culture shock did you experience moving from the UK to Kentucky and Louisville in the United States?
Well, the people, first of all, I mean, they don't know how to talk, do they, to be fair? I mean, they say words like yo. It's not one word, it's two, it's you and all. You know, I can't understand a word they're saying most of the time. The people are not the best looking in the world, to be fair. No offence to people from Kentucky, but most of them are fat, missing teeth, and they've got a bit of a, you know, they've got problems, obviously. So it's getting used to dealing with normal, under average people.
Right.
You know, I don't mind sort of like, I wouldn't say associating with mediocre people, but you know, I'll put up with them. But the people in Kentucky are below mediocre on so many levels.
Right.
It's like, what's going on here? Not wanting to sound above myself or anything, although I am. But the people was the first thing. The next thing was the food. Everywhere you go is deep fried food. You know, we have like one fish and chip shop, healthy food the rest of the time. Here you got burger bars upon burger bars. And dry foods. We don't have dry foods in the UK. You know, McDonald's just started bringing in drive-throughs. That's about it. Here you have drive-through everything. Drive-through banks, drive-through pharmacies, drive-through this, drive-through that. You even have drive-through drive-throughs. It's like unbelievable. But once you get used to, you know, dealing with mediocre people, below mediocre people in the drive-throughs, and it's not too bad. You get used to it.
The training experience, you know, how grueling was it? Is it as bad as they say it is? You know, was there any hazing or initiation?
Well, it's fairly intense. It separates the people that want it from the people that think they do, which is always a good thing. You know, you don't need weak links in your organisation, and that's what the training does. It separates the people that, you know, think they have it from the people that definitely don't. I never came over with the intention of being a wrestler. Anyway, I'm a writer and broadcaster. That's what I've done. That's what I do. That's what I'm good at, and that's what I'm doing now. I write for TV. I also present the show, which is where I'm happiest at.
Right.
But, and I'm on their character as well. But Rip said, well, if you want to do all the stuff on TV, present the show, you're going to have to train as well. I've always been one for paying dues anyway. You know, I believe that if you want to be part of an organisation, you should be part of the whole organisation. You know, I always set the ring up, you know, I get my hands dirty, I do everything, and I don't mind that now. And so I didn't want to be a wrestler. But after training for like nearly a year now, I've fallen in love with the wrestling side of the business as well. When you're involved in it, when you're around it, it's hard not to start loving it. Especially when you're working with people that are really passionate about it as well. They take it seriously. Then you adopt their passion. You know, the power of association. You become who you associate with. Luckily for all the wrestlers, they've associated with me, so they become greater just from that power of association. You know, after this interview, you two are going to be going from there to there just because you've been with me for some short time.
I was just thinking the same thought.
You know, I can feel that tingling sensation in you. You're growing, you know.
You started out at DCW, obviously training, like you've talked about, and then after you paid your dues, you eventually moved into a spot on television.
Well, not really, no. I think I arrived on Tuesday. I started training on Wednesday, and Thursday was my first TV show presenting the show.
Well, then you moved a lot faster than most people. So
well, yeah,
tell us about that a little bit, if you could.
Well, I came over with the spot, more or less. I knew I was going to be doing something on TV.
Right.
Rip just didn't tell me exactly what.
Okay.
I mean, it's only natural that you give somebody like me one of the best spots on the show because it's good for your ratings. It brings people in, you know, which is only natural. But I didn't know what I was going to do. So I arrived on Tuesday. Wednesday I started training, and then Thursday morning Rip called me up and said, "We're going to get you presenting the TV show tonight. What we want you to do is we want you to call," because Kenny Boland had been trying to stop me coming in, trying to get customs to block me and stuff like that. He's got a few friends in customs.
Kenny Boland's got friends everywhere.
Yeah. He's got a few friends in immigration. He tried to block me for numerous weeks from coming to DCW, but I managed to get in anyway. So on the very first show, which was 2 days after I landed in the country, I managed to call up and get the DCW officials to tell Kenny Boland that he had a flood at his house and he needed to go. So 10 minutes into my first TV show, which I think is DCW number 7, issue number 7, check it out online, it's worth buying, just $10, DCW.com, WCWrestling.com, really good. It's my first show, so it's obviously going to be a great
Sure.
show. So 10 minutes into the show, Kenny gets a message that his house is being flooded. He runs off, goes to his house, and I make my entrance about 2 minutes after that. So then as there's a spare seat there, it's unprofessional of him to leave. I sit in his seat.
Sure.
I start presenting the show alongside Timmy Baltimore, probably one of the greatest shows in wrestling history. And at the end of the show, Kenny comes back realising there wasn't a flood at his house. He was really annoyed, and from that point on, that's where the feud between me and Kenny started. And the fans took Kenny's side. The fans have never liked Kenny Bolin ever.
No, they haven't.
I don't know why. Probably because he's fat and obnoxious and things like that.
Could be.
But from that point on, they either had to take my side or Kenny's side. And for some bizarre reason, the fans chose to cheer Kenny and to dislike me. And it just goes to show that Kentucky fans have got bad taste.
Did you end up having a match at DCW?
I did actually, yeah. I mean, Kenny Bolin, the powers that be in DCW gave Kenny Bolin control of TV for one night. Why? I don't know. I mean, it was a silly thing to do, but they did.
He probably gave him a free meal at
Free meal,
per hour or
something like that. Yeah, he's probably slipped him a deal where you can go out, feed your face, I'll look after the show. Well, on that particular night, he made me referee a match. I mean, I did a great job, obviously. It was probably the greatest referee in wrestling history. But I refereed a match. After that, he then made me have an arm wrestling contest with Josie, who's a girl. She's a pretty big girl.
She is.
I think she's now the reigning OVW Women's Champion. But I was having an arm wrestling match with Josie. She pulled my hair, which cost me the match, the arm wrestling match.
Sure.
You know, and I've got nice locks, so it was easy to pull. Not too happy about that. So after I'd already refereed a match, which was quite intense, went on for about 20 minutes, probably almost 40 pin attempts, I was rather blown up. Then I had to arm wrestle, and then he put me in a match with Sonic. Now Sonic's a little guy, he weighs probably 50 pounds, something like that. And for the last 6 or 7 weeks I've been calling, previous to the match, I've been calling him a tapeworm, because he's only a little guy. I mean, he is a tapeworm, basically, just a little insignificant guy. So he puts me in the ring with Sonic, and if you want to watch the match, it's up on my MySpace page, myspace.com/thinktwink. It's good. It's a good site to go to. And anyway, I get in the ring, lock up, little Sonic gets under me because he's a little guy, pulls my tights, knocks me down. I knock my head right back on the canvas to the point where I'm almost knocked out. He goes off, does a Sonic splash, and boom, straight on me, pulls me up for the pin. 7 seconds later, that's my first match and my first defeat.
Guys like Dean Hill and Timmy Baltimore, who've been around for a while and been doing this for a while, what is your relationship with them and your opinion of them?
Well, they come up to me and ask me for advice all the time, you know, and being the type of person I am, I give it to them. Personally, I think Timmy Baltimore is one of the greatest play-by-play men in wrestling history. He should be on WWE now, if you ask me. Nobody's a better play-by-play guy than Baltimore. Respect the kid a lot. He's got the right look. He's got the right mix of everything. But that's probably because he's spent the last 9 months associating with me. But he's ready. Timmy Baltimore is ready. You know, part of me wishes he never goes up, because then you people around here get to watch him on OVW and DCW. But if there's one person other than me that's ready for the big time, it's Baltimore.
So I'm going to go ahead and call it now. WrestleMania 25, the announce team at the desk, Twinkletoes, Timmy Baltimore, and Kenny Bolin scrubbing the toilets.
I don't think they should let him in the arena, personally. Maybe let him clean the car park.
Yeah, watching the windows out in the parking
Something
lot.
like that.
Well, I appreciate you stopping by, being our first guest, Twinkletoes. I'm Tim Stone,
I'm Eric Hall.
and this has been
Whoa, let me show you how to do it properly. This is, I don't know what your name, what's your name?
Eric.
Eric and
Tim.
This is Eric, this is Tim, and this has been MARKOUTONLINE with the greatest broadcaster of all time, the very first guest. So it's obviously going to be a great show. Make sure you check it out, markoutonline.com.